One day I was walking on the Golden Gate Bridge at night when I eventually ran into a beautiful woman there. I thought it was my lucky day until she mysteriously asked for help by offering to pay me to kill her husband. It was a tour trip I took for photography back in spring 2017 to take pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge at San Francisco, California, the city I loved most as a child, which I still do love now and forever. The city with bay bridges and beaches, particularly known as the founding of the 49ers, is also my favorite football team. I guess you understand why I love everything about San Francisco: the light, the ocean, the city, the uphill, the tour, the mountains, and whatever you can name, which is all in San Francisco. I love photography a lot. I grew up being a photographer when I was a boy, inspiring my uncle who passed away when I was only 16 years old. He would always carry a camera with him wherever we go and take random pictures and beautiful sceneries. Once in a while, I would travel to big cities across the United States to take photos just to find the greatest view. It is like following my uncle's footsteps who had inspired me to do so. I have been touring throughout the best place in the world. Though I'm still a single guy, but live to do what I love to do, which was something my mom once said. As long as I love what I am doing is all what makes happiness live on in life. San Francisco has always been a place I often visited. I would visit this city at least 5 times a year and will never get tired of coming back here. This time I wanted a good photo shoot of the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, of course I try to get a better shot once in a long time just to keep my photographs organized yearly, taken in the event of the exact year. I bought a Canon brand camera which I prefer to use for photography. I just went over to Chinatown and to the beaches. Each area I go through I would find something good to photograph. I was on my way to the Bay Bridge and appearing to be the only single man who was walking around with a camera. Kind of weird in some way, because I would imagine in my head that people would wonder who this weirdo is walking around with the camera throughout the city. I like to say things like this to myself as a joke when being alone. Other tourists thought I was a loner. Eventually, it never bothers me because I'm usually alone wherever I go. I feel comfortable and happy to be alone, so I never bother what others think of me. It was nighttime around 9 or later when I was walking on the Golden Gate Bridge. At that time, there were very few people on the bridge except cars rolling by the road. I saw a beautiful blonde girl who was wearing a long black coat, carrying a purse, standing about a few yards away from me. I did catch her eyeing at me at the same time she saw me staring at her too. I was so nervous and pretended to look away, knowing a woman is actually staring at me at the moment. Was it because I was carrying a camera? Was it because of my dressing, or was she just lonely? I lean on the rail and pretend to look through all the photos I took from my camera. The night was cold and quite windy at the moment. The wind was blowing my hair aside. I didn't feel sleepy going out late like this because I was too excited to be here again in San Francisco once again and had thought to come back here more in the future. Whenever I look over my left shoulder, I can see the blonde woman staring at me and looks away the second I look at her. My legs were trembling seeing that she kept eyeing on me for the last couple of minutes. Though it was a good feeling somehow, having a lady stare at you that long. I don't know what to say if I were to go up to her. I was never much of a flirty man type or knew how to approach a woman. She stood there quietly like she needed someone to talk with. I keep telling myself I should just keep waiting like this. Though I'm not good at speaking with women like the way I am good at photography. That second I realized she was coming closer towards me whenever I pretended to scroll through the photos I took from my camera. Another quick glance, I see her foot getting closer to me. I scratch my head and turn off my camera, knowing she was coming nearer. I try to stand straight before turning to face her. She came towards me with a big smile when her hairs were flying aside by the wind. She said, "Hi," to me first before I could say it back to her. She asked me if I am a photographer. I told her it was my dream being a photographer growing up, inspired by my uncle. We went on chatting for the next few minutes, standing side by side. She did the talking most because I was clueless when seeing a beautiful woman talking with me though. I enjoy listening to her talk a lot. She was very friendly. Her voice sounded so tenderly beautiful and gave out that touchy tone to make my heart drop like I never have experienced before. She can exactly tell I was so nervous, though she somehow finds me quite attracted a lot, I thought. I didn't know whether I was young or good looking, being a single man who is a 30 years old photographer, or it was my dressing appearance. Her eyes were locked on me the whole time, never glancing away, like she's fully focused on my attention. Her beautiful eyes were colored white. After a long chat, we finally introduced each other's name. She told me her name was Danielle. At that point, I was so happy that I got to talk with such a beautiful woman who would come up to a random guy like me. She wanted my phone number right away if I would be able to give it to her. I was about to give it to her, then I saw her ring finger with a ring. She told me that her husband was being unfaithful to her, and she didn't bother to find a new man in her life. Her husband has been cheating on her for many women throughout the past years. I felt it was wrong trying to talk with a married woman since I was a single man. She said she needed a man like me to do something for her. And if I do what she asks, then she'll pay me $30,000 now in cash. She says she'll give me another $10,000 after the job is done. This shocked me, wondering what she wanted me to do. The money was a lot to have, but I'm going to make sure what kind of job she wants me to do to pay me that much. Danielle did somehow appear a little serious, telling me that I cannot tell anyone, and let this be strictly only between me and her, saying I cannot tell anyone, and let this be strictly only between me and her, saying I was feeling a little edgy to know what she wanted me to do. At the same time, the money seems very much to have, and I never had in my life earned that much money before or will ever make that much. Danielle came closer to me and asked me if I accepted the job offer, saying it is an easily simple thing to do and walk away with the money. Her breath brushing through my face kept me very comfortable to listen to her beautiful voice. Only her voice drove me to listen and do so to answer. I'll do it. She whispers to my ear and says, "Good. Now I want you to kill my husband, Robert." I swallowed that second and said in my head, what the hell was that offer I have agreed to do? I never expected a terribly murdering job to do, and why not something like just delivered this to that place, then it's done. Danielle's beautiful face just stood there smiling at me with a shiny red lipstick. It was a nightmare to take an offer like that, and I'm no killer. I turned away to lean on the rail, looking down on the water, wondering if this was the worst offering of a horribly job to accept in life. Danielle leaned on the rail beside me and gazed at the water, looking a little upset. She can tell I was nervous to go through with this decision. She looks at me and says, "I'll give you the payment once we head to my apartment." I didn't know what to think or say back to her, feeling lost, like I wish I hadn't agreed at the first place. My legs were feeling cold down to my feet, shivering that second. I felt I was very wrong at first. What am I going to say to her? Because I'm so nervous to face her. My hands are shaking now, holding my camera. I kept saying in my mind what I should do to get out of here. She asked me if I've ever been in love with an unfaithful person or ever tried to be in a relationship with an unfaithful person. I answer, I never dated anyone before in my whole life and remained single till today. She laughs at me like I was some kind of pathetic man. She said that she was carrying a gun inside her purse, and that gun was for her husband. That was the gun she wanted me to use to kill her husband. She grabs onto my left forearm softly, tapping it, trying to make me feel better, like it was a piece of cake. She convinced me that I shouldn't worry. I struggled for a second before turning to Danielle and said, "What makes you think I can be the one just because you think I appeared like some kind of geek tourist? Is that what you think I am to you, the way I'm walking around with a camera in my hand?" She angrily looked at me back and breathed intensively, like she wanted to slap me so bad. I hated when people tried to push me around. Pushing me far really gets me heated, especially when seeing me as a weakling. I knew I shouldn't be this way, but I keep telling myself, I am not going to accept something like this. It was way out of the box. I'm not someone to be bossed around like a little boy, I tell myself. "You turning down the offer?" Danielle asked, trying to calm her voice the way she was expressing, knowing how upset I am. I didn't answer her because I knew she wouldn't dare to pull her gun out and shoot me here in front of this traffic. I'm sure she wouldn't be that stupid to do so. I told her I had to decline the offer because I'm not a killer and would never kill anyone just for money. It was an insane thing to ask for, and I don't even know her at all. She got even angrier. bragging about me being very lucky to meet a person like her to make such a deal like this, and saying why did I refuse such a good offer. Be careful what you wish for, because sometimes the cat may bite hard, she said to me. I turned my back on her that second and try to walk away, then she grabs my arm. You'll regret this, she said, holding my hand tighter, continuing saying, just do it and take the money. You really need this money, and I can see it in your eyes. It is a good offer once in a lifetime. I pull my arm away and look at her, saying, I won't regret this. She smiles before frowning. All I knew was that she was the psychotic one, who had gone insane for her unfaithful husband. I then walk away, leaving her there alone, thinking of nothing except myself along with my camera. I went as fast as I could, watching my back if she was following me too. I luckily made it out through the night and told myself I'll never talk to any beautiful stranger at night.